All right, you guys, thank you so much for calling in tonight for our Tuesday night team call. My name is Lauren, as you guys know, and I'm super excited about tonight's call, not only to share with you some exciting things that they just talked about on the leadership call earlier, but also because we have an incredible guest speaker tonight. And you guys are gonna be like blown away when I get into her accolades, but it's more exciting even just to tell you guys about what an extraordinary woman she is, and that she's like firing me up right now with her just drive to really kind of take this to the top. So you guys, I know it's summer. I know everybody's got barbecues and pools and swim lessons and everything else, and it's kind of like, right? Like the last thing we want to do is sit inside and it's 90 degrees and be on a team call, but I promise you this is one of those calls that you're going to be so fired up by the time you get off on this. So I'm going to tell you two things before we get into it. Number one, if you can, and I realize for whatever reason you can't, turn on your videos. Like, it's so much more fun to just see the engagements, and I promise you are getting that much more out of it. If you can, and if you can't, I get it, but if you're present and we can see you, it just makes it so much better for everybody speaking. And the second is text one person. I open up this call to everybody. I send it to some other teams. Literally text one person right now. Send them the cute little flyer we made for Erica and be like, get your butts on this call, because if you are not fired up after this, like, you don't want to be doing Isagenix. That's how magnetic and electric this call is going to be. I get 45-second voice memos from Erica, and she keeps me up for like 2 more hours. So get your people on this call, okay? The other thing I want to dive in and start to tell you guys is we just got off the leadership call, and I love our company. You guys know this. Like, we could probably just like go down to like $10 a cycle and selling mud, and I would still be with Isagenix because I love this company so much. Like, Kathy Coover smiles and I'm like forever excited, and just like, this is where we're supposed to be. But tonight, we were privileged to see the shifts that are happening at the corporate level. And for some of you, you're going to be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And for some of you, you're going to do like somersaults and backflips. But we have a new VP of marketing, and the things that she is talking about that's going to help with retention and the labels and the packaging is like, we could not be at this company at a more opportune time. Like, it is absolutely mind-blowing of what's coming. We also found out that Chris Nish is coming back. Many of you know who he is, and he's actually going to be leading the mountain region, which is mine. I like text Cal. I said, you're not getting rid of me, but I'm freaking ecstatic to have Chris Nish back. And Mac Larson, who has been in Australia since 2016, is now moving back, and he's going to be the VP of sales, replacing Christina Swift's position. And the vision of this company and where they're going could not be more magnetic. And the last little bit I'll tell you is Josh Plant got on there, and I knew of a couple coming out, and I was like, wait, what? Apparently 5 products between now and celebration, and 8 by NYKO. And Josh Plant was on there about how cutting edge, how innovative, it's not a new flavor, it's not a new texture, that like, he literally said, I've never been so excited to bring a new nutritional product. It's like finding a new element for the periodic table. Like, are you guys kidding me? So we're really just want to get that buzz going and that excitement going. And I want to encourage you guys to start having those conversations with people. Like, I'm going to this conference because our company is releasing cutting edge nutrition. I'm going to be the first to learn about it, and you're going to be the first person I tell about it. You know, figure out how to get your team members here and say they are launching things that are going to be exclusive to people in Nashville. Like, you absolutely need to come. I absolutely want you to come join. And so I just want you guys to really be excited about where we're going with the company. And I really quickly, too, want to introduce Jen Feiter, who I'm looking to see where she is on the line. It looks like maybe she dropped. She did. Okay. I don't know why. She is our product spotlight, but I'm just going to do it because I don't see her on the call. I don't know what happened, but she was on. So anyways, you guys, as you know, every single week we do a product spotlight and we do a business spotlight. And tonight's entire call is the business spotlight, because 30 seconds is not even close to enough for everything that we need to cover. But our product spotlight this week is Amped Hydrate. And it's a part of our performance line, but this is a kid-friendly product. It's great for all athletes. It's great for summer. It is an all-natural source of your energy and electrolytes without artificial sweeteners, without artificial colors. You guys, some of the recipes of the orange, the lemon lime, the grape, and mixing and matching and all of them, you guys cannot get more creative enough. I have fallen in love with the orange hydrate. 1 scoop of that and 1 scoop of the peach mango cleanse, like just to drink. It is so refreshing and so divine. People make popsicles out of it. Like you can buy those little Ziploc popsicle bags on Amazon, make a batch of hydrate, put it in popsicles, send your kids to run around and market for you. I mean, it is such a great product this time of year. There's recipes to do margaritas with the lemon lime, whatever it may be. So try the hydrate if you have never done it, and take some time this week to message some of your team and get them all excited about Amped Hydrate. Just imagine if every single person in your downline bought Amped Hydrate this week, and I want you to have that intention as you go out and share it. So with no further ado, I am going to introduce Miss Erika. And I want to first tell you guys that I learned about Erika way before she knew about me, because I knew when Jess had found her. And you guys know Jess and I worked so closely together. And she was so excited about Erika, not because she's gorgeous and not because she's smart, but because it was literally like Jess finally was at a point where she's like, I've been writing down intention statements of exactly who I want to build with. I have been so clear on the type of people I want to partner with. She's been so clear on attracting in someone that she really could run with, and someone who was competitive and driven and fun and faith-based and, you know, fitness oriented and loved on people. And it's like she met Erika and was like, oh my gosh, this is my blue M&M. Like of everything else, like she found her blue M&M and was excited about her. And I watched Erika, you know, race to executive and hit 1-star and hit 2-star. And you guys, she is now a 2-star crystal executive, 4-star golden circle in less than 2 years. You guys, that's making over $250,000 a year residually, in literally just a couple years. But I want to read you these accolades because I'm going to butcher them. But right now, she's the #1 leader in action in the company for May. So of like 800,000 associates, right? 150,000 that are building the business. She was the #1 leader in action in the company. So whatever she's saying is clearly working. She's headed to the Grand Cayman in October as #9. So remember that there was like the tiers of like top 10, top 40, and then top 150. So she's #9. She's a wife and proud mama of 2, Drew and Adeline. And she also has been massively involved for a long time. This is a real big girl career job. In corporate America, she's a director for a huge oil and gas company. And I share that with you because she's not doing this in like full-time hours. And when people are like, I'm too busy to build Isagenix, she's the director of an oil and gas company on the East Coast, a male-dominant industry where she's running around in high heels, circles around them, has a very, very lucrative, more than 6-figure job. And she's a mom of 2, and she works out every day at 4 a.m. at Orange Theory, right? And she's fun, and she socializes. And when people say, like, I don't have time, like, if she has the time, anybody has the time, okay? And the last thing that I am just gonna share with you when we go through her story and what network marketing has done for her is really her ability to drive others, and really her ability to create momentum and to create a culture, because you can only get so far in this business by yourself. So Erika, I'm gonna quit for a minute, and I would love for you to first of all just like share your story, like what you were doing before Jess met you, if you had any experience in network marketing, and kind of maybe what you liked or didn't like about that, what it was that appealed you to Isagenix, and just kind of let them get to know you because nobody else knows you like I do.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lauren. And thank you everyone who dialed on tonight. Because like Lauren said, I know you guys are everyone's busy, right? Everyone's busy in different capacities. And it's an honor to be able to be on this call and talk to you all, because I absolutely adore and look up to Lauren. The minute I met her at NYKO, I just knew like she was just someone that I was like, I need to learn from. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's just, like I said, a pleasure to be here tonight. So guys, just to back you up a little, I'm going to just walk you through my like 2-minute story. Originally from Massachusetts, went to school in Villanova, got my degree in civil engineering, have been in corporate America for the last 18 years. in different capacities, was always like dreaming of that corner office, right? That VP, I am going to make it to the top. I'm going to crush glass ceilings in a really male dominated world. And that is where I'm supposed to be for the rest of my life, right? Because that's what seemed right on paper. People were like, yes, yes. And I must say, I'm still in my career. I still love what I do. But I had 2 kids, right? I had Drew, who's going to be 6 next week, which is like shocking. And then my daughter, Adeline. And as I was pregnant with Adeline, I just really started reassessing like my life. Like I was like, what is my purpose? What is my passion? Where am I going? And at the time I had opened a gym. I had my own gym. I was still working corporate America, 2 young kids, this and the other. So I always had that real entrepreneurial side. My husband and I are really involved with real estate on the side. He works full time, but we have a bunch of real estate properties that we manage. So it's always kind of been in my blood that way. And I'm always like, listen, there has to be other ways. And I'm a big fan that like there needs to be different sources of income. So I was watching or kind of stalking one of my college roommates online, and she was involved in this skincare company. And I had no idea. I was like, listen, she was a smarty, blah, blah, blah. What was she doing selling skincare and eye cream to other people? But I was intrigued. And it was because, and again, something for us all to remember, she was posting about the opportunity. It wasn't because my wrinkles were that bad at that point. It was more so because I was like, I was so intrigued by following her story, and she was posting so consistently about the business, and she wasn't scared to post about the business. And so anyways, I started watching her. Long story short, fast forward, joined, like I said, a premium skincare company, have great things to say about them, learned a lot about network marketing, but I was like inside, there was something that I was struggling with, right? There was something that I didn't understand it, but I was like, once I start something, I'm committed to it. And they always kept telling me it was a 3 to 5 year plan, and you will get there one day. And lo and behold, as I was prospecting, I actually came upon Jessica Rigner's name. And for anyone that doesn't know Jessica Rigner, I'm sure you all do. I mean, big celebrity at, Isagenix, and she became a millionaire, I think in 26 months, something crazy like that. I happened to trying to prospect her for this skincare company, and I didn't hear back from her right away. Long story short, about a week or 2 later, she messaged me back. My message must have got lost in, Never Neverland, and we agreed to meet up for coffee. I had no idea that she was what clout she had at Isagenix, nor even that she was that involved with network marketing. I actually called my upline before that meeting and said, I think I found a winner. And we sat down. Long story short, as we were sitting down, and she was describing to me about Isagenix and fitness and wellness. And like Lauren says, I get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning because I'm always at Orange Theory on the treadmills by 5 a.m. because I just have a passion for fitness and wellness. I taught fitness classes for 15 years. And as she's talking to me and telling me about the alignment with this company, and then she started describing to me the compensation plan and how different it was compared to the compensation vehicle I was in. And then when I told her the salary that I needed to match, and she said, are you ready to run? And I go, okay, either this girl is crazy or she's onto something absolutely amazing. And well, long story short, roles took a complete reverse during that conversation. It took me about 2 or 3 months, and I'm sure during that time, Lauren probably heard a lot about it, to actually make the switch and come on board. But let me tell you guys, once I did, like I haven't looked back since, and it was like the best yes I could have made. So.
That's so awesome. And without putting like another company down, like I don't ever want to do that, but just like maybe big picture overview, like could you highlight like maybe just 2 or 3 things that are really dynamic or really unique about Isagenix that you were like, what, based on where you were?
Yeah, absolutely. I truly think that the culture here is amazing. And when I say that, there's so many people that are so business oriented, and that really attracted me. Like something that I knew, not only was I going to be able to make great relationships and have a lot of fun with and people, but I wanted people that were, smarter than me, more aggressive than me, like that could show me the path. And when I went to that first event and I saw the people in that room and how business savvy they were, it just blew me away. And it wasn't that we still didn't have the friendships, but that business side of it really attracted me. Secondly, the compensation plan. The compensation plan I was in, we only got paid to 6 levels. We had to build really wide, but not as deep. So the problem is if I enrolled Mary and Sally, who were really good friends, Mary was here and Sally was here, their businesses never touched. Meaning if they had a mutual friend, Helen, one of them was getting Helen and one of them wasn't. So it became competitive, right? So if we have that situation now, we put them all in the same league, right? Because they're all going to grow and form and help each other. And in the situation I was in, I felt that it wasn't quite as, collaborative that way. It was almost a little more competitive that way when someone would come on board. So I think those are really two of the major differences in just seeing how incredible that compensation plan was comparatively to where I was. And I always say, guys, I'm in corporate America. I would never take another corporate job without asking what my salary was going to be. And I think in network marketing, sometimes we're scared to talk about that, but we can't be, right? If this is someone that's looking to make, I don't care if you're looking to make, groceries or you're looking to make, replace a 6-figure income, you should know what you can make and we shouldn't be afraid to have that conversation with prospects.
Awesome. I love that. And it's so, so, so true. And I love that. And I've actually said that to people. I'm like, if people were offered the same job, like same benefits or same hours or any of those types of things, but the salaries were completely different, but the commuting, the benefits, everything else was the same, like what would you choose? But it is true. Sometimes with network marketing, people get so excited and they're not doing their due diligence. And I love how you just highlighted that. Okay. So you are so busy. I did the intro, but for people that popped on a little bit, she's a mom of 2 little ones. She's a full-time corporate America job. She is a wife. She works out a minimum of 5 or 6 hours a week. That is a minimum. Okay. So I want you to talk us through, number one, what does a day look like for you in terms of where are you doing Isagenix? What are you doing during those times? Because you have to be income producing. Mm-hmm. And also a little bit about, like, even in the beginning when you weren't making very much money with Isagenix, like what made you want to do it? I think so often people don't want to make those kind of like short-term sacrifices because they don't believe the long-term result is coming, right? Like they're so like worried about like, oh, if I like don't watch this movie with my kid tonight and I don't make that money, or they don't want to get up earlier to do something or stay up later. And just literally walk us through, like, how did you know that this was going to work, or why did you make those sacrifices, and what do you do? Like, how are you building this in the pockets of your time?
Yeah, great question. Okay, so a typical day for me, like Lauren said, I mean, I work full time. Like my job is 50, 60 hours a week. I have 400 people under me. My territories, I'm driving to Washington, D.C. tomorrow. My husband's traveling this week, but I got to be able to drop off the kids and pick them up. So I have a lot of balls in the air. And I think Lauren hit the nail on the head. It's like when I have those pockets of time, they have to be income producing activities. So like when I'm driving to the gym at 4:30 in the morning, I am reaching out to any messages I didn't get the night before. I'm doing my birthday messages for anyone that doesn't do birthday messages, just spreading good energy, wishing people other, happy birthday. I'm following up with all that stuff on my ride to the gym in the morning. People are like, I can't believe you drive 20 minutes to the gym. And I'm like, listen, it's a great time because it's that concentrated time for me to focus on that. I work out, I get my jam going. And I'm a morning person. I'm not a night person. You asked me to do the same thing at 11:30 at night, like brain dead. I'm better off getting up at 3 in the morning and doing it, as crazy as that sounds. So you got to work with what works best for you. Get my workout in, way back from the gym. I'm following up with anyone that has already replied. Before I actually leave the gym parking lot, I'm probably doing a story. I'm putting something up on Facebook. I'm putting a quote up, whatever it is that, to just start my day and put that good energy. So when someone gets up in the morning, they're reminded of like, oh yeah, there's that crazy Erika girl again. Because people start to watch you. They start to follow you. And people that you don't even realize are watching you. So be that billboard every day. If you're only showing up every 5 days, people are going to say, how serious is she really taking this? If you're treating it like a business, I would never not show up at my corporate job for 5 days, right? You know what I mean? I'm showing up every day. I'm opening my email every day. I'm, doing the do. And then literally come home, get the kids ready for school, get things, settled in the house, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm dropping them off at school. And on my way from school to the office or to whatever meeting I'm headed to, I know exactly who I'm calling, who I'm following up with, whether it's teammates, whether it's prospects, whatever that is. And at the beginning of my build, guys, what I would do is the night before, I would take a sticky tab and I would write the 10 people or the 12 people or whatever your number is of the people that whenever I was in the car, I was literally going down that list. And I literally would take that sticky and put it on my dashboard, and I would not walk in the house that day until all 10 of those calls were made or all 10 of those contacts were made. And it really held me accountable. I mean, now it's become just I've become a creature of habit and I know who I need to reach out to, but at the beginning of the build, really holding yourself accountable. So literally it's those crazy pockets of the day, Lauren. Like I wish I could say like, it's here, it's there. And the beautiful part about it, guys, it's when I'm going to a lunch meeting with someone and I meet the waitress and I say, hey, listen, would you ever be open for another opportunity? Or your service was like so great. You have such a charismatic personality. I would love to just explain to you what I'm up to. It may not be for you, but I would love to explain it to you. Take the opportunity away, right? But let them know, compliment them if you genuinely feel like they're could be a fit for you. So I always say I'm always working in these spare little snippets. I'm never sitting down for 5 or 6 hours at a time. Same thing on my way home, in between meetings, in the ladies' bathroom at work. Like I think sometimes the other ladies at work probably think I'm talking to myself. Like whatever it may be, just finding those little pockets of the day. And then at night, I usually try to find an hour of really concentrated time. So to me, it's not about the quantity, it's the quality. And making sure during those times, very rarely, and when I have more time, when, I leave corporate America, I'll worry more about focusing on learning exactly what's in products and learning, listening to personal development. And I think that's so important. But if you were limited on time, if you want to grow this business, 80 to 90% of it right now has to be income producing activities. No matter what you do, you got to sacrifice that personal development right now. You got to sacrifice, a team call, whatever it is, to make sure that you're making those contacts. So.
I love that. Okay, so you said something great that I want to ask you about, and then I'm going to ask you another question. But you said, if you meet a waitress and you compliment them, that whole piece, which I do all the time, but what do you do afterwards? What if they're like, yeah, that sounds great. Like, what do you do? Because it might be different than what I do or what Jess does. Like, I want them to hear kind of what you're doing from those cold market reach outs.
Yeah, so say I was at lunch with someone today and the waitress was just super dynamic, super fun. I'm like, wow, by the way, whenever I first meet someone like that, I always ask them, like, what is your name? If they don't have a name tag, what is your name? Like, and every time they're bringing something over, just engaging a little bit in that conversation, right? And by the end of the conversation, either I'll go up to them privately or at the table, whatever feels right. Or when I go to use the ladies' room or something, I'll be like, listen, I know I'm probably going to sound completely crazy, but I have, I'm an entrepreneur and I have an incredible business opportunity. I know this may not be for you, but I would love to at least tell you what I'm doing or pick your brain and see if you know anyone else that would be interested in an opportunity. I know you're super busy right now and I respect your time. I know you're at work. Could we connect on Facebook? I'm not on Facebook. Could I get your number so I could text you later?
And then what do you send them, or what do you say? What does that initial coffee appointment look like? Or what does your text or Facebook Messenger start to look like?
So I basically, I'll basically make sure that day I'll follow back up with them. It's not the minute after I leave there. I'm usually like, okay, she's probably off her shift or this, that, and the other. And I'll follow back up and what a pleasure it was meeting today. And I literally, guys, what I always try to do is get that person on the phone the fastest. Less information, because now if I give them too much information, now I'm going back and forth with 17 different messages. And all of a sudden now they're Googling something, they're checking something out. They're like, oh, I remember my great aunt Mary tried it, 8 months ago and, her cat ended up dying the same week. So, this product isn't good, blah, blah, blah. Like, get the person on the phone, let them hear your voice, let them hear your excitement. And what I say is if they're not willing to get on their phone, they're probably not your runners. They're probably not your people. And I'm not saying that you can't message back and forth, but I'm looking for people that are daring and entrepreneurial enough that are like, you know what, I will pick up the phone. What is the worst that a phone call is going to happen? And during that phone call, Lauren, it's asking a lot of questions. What do you love about your current job? Are you passionate with right now what you're doing? Do you wish you had an additional stream of income? you know, if you could be doing anything right now, what would it be? And they're like, I wish I could travel to Australia. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we just opened a market in Australia. Like, get into their feelings, but let the conversation flow. I don't push Isagenix down them. I ask more about them before I get to the opportunity. And sometimes it's not the right time to bring up the opportunity, and that's okay. And then a lot of times by the end of it, I say, listen, you know, if I sent you something, would you take a look at it? And usually that's, you know, the entrepreneurial video, you know, with Jessica in it, or it's the 6-minute Isagenix video that's more about the products, or, you know, the Just Cleanse video. And then I say, you know, I'll follow up with you. And then I make a concrete time of when I'm going to follow up with that person. But I create the vision for them. And then when I get off the phone with them, I'm like, I can imagine you helping lead the troops in Australia, like, you know, and just launching this business to a whole new level. Like, let them feel the dream. Because right now they don't feel it. Right now they think you're probably some crazy wacko that like came in and ate a salad at their establishment and is like, this girl's out of her mind. But, you know, and then trying to get them on your feed, trying to get them in Facebook. And what I typically do is I'll take one of my Sunday night opportunity posts and I will tag them in that post. Because now all of a sudden, not only is that post coming back up to the top, so all those other prospects that you're thinking about, all of a sudden it's recirculating, but now they get to read about you, right? They get to not only watch, you know, our awesome videos, but now they get to see your story. And maybe you're at a level that you're like, hey, listen, I'm not ready to share that story. I'm not putting my business opportunity out there yet. Tag them in one of Lauren's posts, tag them in one of Jen and Adam's posts. Like, you know, like someone else on the team that could resonate with their story.
I love that. That's so brilliant. And you guys, just to clarify a little bit too, it's not necessarily like actually in the post, it's more the comments, because then right? Is that true? Yeah. So if she's celebrating, let's say that, you know, she does this post about Holly and Joel, who just went 3-star, who's her personally enrolled, right? And she does this whole post and she just talked to someone about the business opportunity. She's like, hey, here's this example of this couple that I met at Baggage Claim in Maui, right? And she's doing that. The fact that, you know, she meets Erika where she's having the restaurant, Erika's the server and she ordered the salad, there's so much validity in that. So she just tagged Erika in there so they can see it and they can see all the comments and everything that person's like, oh my gosh, that girl that had the salad in the restaurant is not a wacko. She's actually like totally onto something. So I think that's brilliant. Okay, so Erika sent me the cutest message the other night, you know, with birthday cake, and she just has a whole team of momentum right now. And not just that Holly and Joel had gone 3-star, which is awesome, and she, you know, had gone 4-star, that it was the excitement she had for somebody else. And the memo was like, I literally remember when I was rank advancing thinking, Jessica must be nuts. Like, why does she care that I went executive? Like, why does she care that I went 1-star? And it's so fun because we are seeing other people's dreams come true. We're seeing them say yes to things that they didn't know how. We're seeing them have fun and being fulfilled in other areas. Like Erika loves her job. She already said that, right? She's in corporate America. She loves her job. But there were other areas in her life that were less fulfilled that Isagenix is fulfilling, right? And Jessica could see that. You guys know the story of when Janny messaged Jess. Jess loved her job and she was very successful, but her nanny was raising her kids because she was on red-eye flights from the East Coast to the West Coast all the time. That when Janny could see the places of pain, that what it would be like to have a beach home where she was actually at with her kids and not just owning. You know, when Janny could see what it would be like for Jess to be at her daughter's piano recital and not watching it on FaceTime. All of these things, she was able to work within that. So Erika, I would love for you to, and this might be like twofold, but the first question is kind of like, what is it inside of you right now that is like that burning desire for more, right? You are not the rags to riches story. You're not like, oh my gosh, I have 50 grand in debt and I'm making $12 an hour story. You're not, I hate my job. You're not, I want to be full-time with my kids necessarily. So like, what is it inside of you that makes you tick? And when I tell you guys this makes you tick, she's being a little bit modest right now on like her list and the people she reaches out to. There was a period Jessica reached out to 30 people a day. Or I'm sorry, Erika. So we're talking about your 3 by 3, like literally 30 messages, like won't go to bed until she sends these out. Like first thing in the morning, she's up at 3:30 or 4 a.m. She's reaching out to 10 to 20 people before the gym so she can do 10 to 20 after. Like I heard that once and I was like, wow, you've talked to more people on Monday morning than I do all week. And I'm a good enroller, you guys. Like I always am enrolling. And I was thinking like, no wonder why she's here. Now, I don't want you to feel like you have to compare your business to that, because Erika might want different things than you, but I would love for you to kind of touch about like, what is that burning desire? What makes you want to do that? When you wanted to hit 2-star and you were at 12 cycles type thing, and Jessica's like, go, you can hit 20. Like, what is it that you're like, I'm going for it and I can do it, that kind of propels you forward? And the second part of that, and I'm just going to be quiet and let you talk for a minute, is how are you driving that line with other people? Because you can only get so far on your own, and you're a great recruiter. There's no surprise to me you hit 1-star. But the fact that now you went 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and you're bringing these people with you, like walk us through what's ticking inside of you that you're relentless. If you told someone, I am going 3-star, and I remember when you did that, right? And you pushed for that, and it was like, you're gonna go, and you were far off, like middle of the week, you were really far off. And I was like, all right, let's go. And she was so convicted. Like, walk through about that and why you just didn't give up and what you did. But now also too, this momentum that you're doing with your team and how you guys are all locking arms and running together.
Yeah. Well, okay. So like Lauren said, guys, not everyone's going to operate like me. And I don't want any of this. Like, I think comparison, like if I do that. I remember at the beginning, I would do that with like Jessica, and I'd be like, well, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing this. And I'm like, listen, this is taking all the joy out of it. So this conversation, I want it to do nothing but you to extrapolate the things that are going to work for you, and not that, oh, I have to do this. Like, you know, it's just different ideas, things that work well. And one of the things that I did at the beginning, I still do to this day, guys, I'm 20 months into my build, and I still take my calendar, my old school notebook, and I write down the 30 people that I contacted every day. Why do I do that? People are like, why do you write that down every day? Because it holds me accountable. Because when I look at the notebook and I look at some weeks where I didn't write everyone down, or I only got 10 names done, I'm like, I didn't hold myself accountable. So I'm a firm believer, like old school notebook, like highlighting, changing names. Maybe this system works for you, maybe it doesn't, but it worked really, really well for me. Like when I said I was going to reach out to 30, just said, do, 10 every day. And I said, okay, well, I want to go fast. And she said, triple it, right? So, Lauren, I think I lost you on that question, but I wanted to like kind of
just
go
like,
back.
what is it? Like, what makes you want to do that? Like when you were 5 cycles away from a rank advancement on a Sunday night, why is it not like, I'm 5 cycles away, it's not going to happen? Like, what is it inside of you, and how are you just like relentless? I'm going for it. I declared this goal, and no matter what, I'm making it happen. Like, walk us through what you're doing and why that's like, you're not shutting off and just like, it's not going to happen this week. Because I've done both. To be totally honest, I've had weeks that like, no matter what, I declared it, and I've jumped my cycles 10 or 15 on a Sunday. And I've had like, I'm 4 away from benchmark. Like I've done both, but like right now you're so excited, you're in the build, you're going for it. Like, talk to us a little bit about that burning desire. Yeah.
So, you know what? So, Lauren said, okay, Erika loves her job. And yes, I love my job. I'm proud of what I do. But what I'm recognizing through this opportunity is there's so much more I feel I can do. There's so many more people I can feel like I can impact. Yes, I install gas lines during the day and all this sort of stuff, but I have a bigger purpose. I have a bigger purpose to help other people. It's no longer about me. It's about other people. Like, I've done very well with Isagenix, and I hope I continue to do extremely well with Isagenix, but now I want to help everyone else, because it's going to be no fun if I just keep moving forward and they're not moving with me. So that burning desire is really reaching, and I think Lauren touched on it before, and I think it's Lauren's term, because when I think of it, I always think of Lauren driving that line. And it's not just driving the people, the consultants that are directly enrolled to you. It's those people. Like today, I reached out to Deb. Why did I reach out to Deb? Deb is enrolled to Holly. Holly's the one that I met who just went 3-star this week. So this week, Ann went 2-star on my team. Holly went 3-star, I went 4-star. We all decided we were going to do it together, and we collaborated, and we got in a message, and we were like, listen, we're all running for this. We heard about birthday cake, and we're like, we're declaring it. And Holly was 20 cycles off on Thursday or Friday. I was like, there's no way this is we all thought it, but I'm like, no, I just believing and knowing that there's a way to make this happen, and really, really driving. So yeah, there's this burning desire to want to do something more. And when you see the stories and you think about yourself and what you want your life to look like, it's messy. It's hard. I will tell you that there's been many times I have called Jessica in tears, upset. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm going back to engine. I can't do this. It's too much. I had 95 people say no to me this week. I had this person like ridicule me about like that I shouldn't have posted about this or whatever. So you see these highlight reels and you see all this great stuff, guys. It's not easy. So if you're at that stage where you're like, I don't know if I can like muster one more day through this, it's so worth it when you find that why and when you find that burning desire. And if you don't know what that is, figure that out. Because when I look at my 2 kids every day, and like I just said, Drew's turning 6 and next week, and I'm going, I'm gonna miss the boat right now. Like, and I could like cry because like I know like I have one chance to be involved in their life, and I am not meant to be a stay-at-home mom. I know it. Like I would do my kids a disservice, and I know I would do me a disservice, but I know they deserve more time from me, right? And so I have this burning desire within me to say, I want to do it for them, but I also want to do that for other moms and other dads who want that desire, whatever that is, and whether that's staying with their kids or traveling or shooting or whatever that is, really finding that passion and letting your team know why you find that passion. And I want to get them paid way more than I want to get myself paid. Like Lauren said, I'm not doing it because I can't pay my mortgage this month or we can't keep the electric on. And it's not that I don't understand that side of it, but I mean, it's just my story, right? I want to help other people. And when I called a random girl, Carrie, okay, I called Carrie about 15 months ago, reached out to her completely randomly on Facebook. Carrie and I got on the phone and we had that conversation. And from the minute I had that conversation, she was a Jersey girl and I could tell she was giving me a little bit of attitude, like, why are you calling me? This is crazy. Let me tell you, Carrie joined my team. Carrie almost has 3 boys. I think 9, 11, and 13. Last year, Carrie almost lost her house. Carrie didn't lose her house because of this opportunity, because she was able to continue to pay her mortgage and pay the taxes. And I have goosebumps because of that. So find those stories. And it wasn't that she was making $10,000 a month. It was that extra $800 or $900 she needed to be able to keep her boys in their school and in like what they were doing. So when I think of those stories, I'm like, I can do that for hundreds of people. And that excites me. That keeps me going. And when we all run together, we're declaring goals and we have that group thread and we have that energy, but it's also making sure as a leader, you're picking out the people that are doing the do that may not be having all the successes. Because let's face it, the blue M&Ms, they're hard to come by. It's the people that are day in and day out that are going to help keep your business afloat. And you've got to stay involved with their business. And they could be super, super proud being at whatever level they're at. Maybe they've been a manager for 8 months and they're perfectly happy with that point, but they're continually doing the do and involving and staying involved in your team. You've got to invest in them, as much, as you're investing in your other, key leaders too. And I'm not saying, but it's the people that are doing it. Do not invest any energy in people that aren't going to do the do. Sometimes it's just not for them and you need to be able to walk away from that too. So when we all run together and we all declare those goals, Lauren, the beginning of this week, and I think this is really important, guys, and sometimes people may look at this as like, oh, I can't believe she did that. But on Monday, when I found out about birthday cake, I went to my team thread and I said, I am running for 4-star. I declared it. I told them because I wanted them to know that was my goal. And I said, who else is running for what? And everyone, I'm running for 5-cycle bonus. I'm running for this. We all decided to do it together, right? When you feel that momentum and you're willing, I put out a scary, scary goal. At that point, when I put that goal out, I was a long stretch away, guys. Like I knew it may not happen. And miraculously, it happened on Saturday morning. I woke up, I went to bed, I said my my spiritual prayers and said, listen, I know, if this is meant to be, it's going to be meant to be. I woke up Saturday morning and it happened. And I'm not saying that you can believe on a prayer because there was a lot of hard work up to that point, but like investing in your people that way and all running together and all declaring it and doing it afraid and being like, listen, I may miss this goal. And I told my team, I was like, there's very good chance I may miss this goal and it's okay, but it gets me one step closer to when I'm going to reach it, if that's the next week or 4 months from now.
I love it. You are like, I told you, I need to just like put it out there so she could like get into her realm and like go. And I hope you can see the chat and all the things you're doing. The way that you're finding people's why, the way that you're sharing your own, the fact that like it's not even about the money anymore when you really understand the lives that you're impacting, like that is the most powerful thing. And it's true. And we all have those stories and most of us have our own, which is why we're even on here. And sometimes we get so wrapped up in our head about what's not happening fast enough or what people are thinking about us or comparing ourselves to other people, that we lose sight of everywhere we've already gotten to and the people we've already helped. And I think that you're doing an amazing job of just highlighting that. And it's true, not everybody wants to max out the comp plan like I do, and that's fine. There's people that are gonna be great at 5-cycle bonus, at 1-star, manager, consultant, whatever, and that's awesome. It's one thing for someone to say, hey, I wanna be a multiple 6-figure income earner on this call, and not reach out to people, not post on social media, not get on team calls, not follow up, not get to events. And it's like, okay, don't waste my time because you're clearly not that serious. On the other hand, when someone says, you know what, I don't have that passion that you have. If people ask me about the products, I'm going to share them. I love them. I'll be a great customer. And if I happen to get them paid for, that's cool, right? Like your expectations of those people are totally different, and listen to them, you know, but the person that is like reaching out, getting to events, getting their team to events, getting on calls, doing everything, if they haven't hit 2-star, 3-star, 4-star in the time that they wanted, celebrate where they are. This is a different learning curve for everybody. We all have different networks. We all develop a little bit differently. And I just really love that you're giving that permission for people to be where they are, but then also the transparency of the expectation that you're running with the runners, and don't waste my time if you're going to kind of dilly-dally. So
and Lauren, if I can add one more thing in, is like with a lot of like my leaders and a lot of people that are running, I know who their people are. And as they're bringing people on, I'm randomly every day reaching out to at least 5 people. So maybe it's like I said, Deb on Holly's team today, who I literally reached out to. I didn't wait for Holly to come to me to ask me to reach out. I just proactively reached out. Hey, Deb, I loved your post the other day. You are doing such phenomenal things. I know you're going to grow with us. Like in believing more in them than you and doing yourself. And there's been many a times in this business, guys, where it's been really ugly for me. And I've been like, if Jess didn't believe more in me than I believed in her, I very well could have walked away. And if you ask for one comparison with my old company, I didn't feel that level that people really wanted to dig in and really cared about my, you know, what I was doing and my success. So just try that. Add that to your daily mode of operation. Reaching out to 3 or 4 people, and I don't even care if that's a product user that started her first cleanse yesterday. Reach out and be that, add that extra level of customer service, that extra level of like care, because you genuinely care. But that could be your next runner. You just have no idea.
Okay, here's the very last question. If you could answer, actually I have 2. As busy as you are, kids in school, right? And work and getting time off and the cost of an event, I want you to talk to everybody about what an event did for you and why it's like absolutely imperative that people get to Nashville.
So I started in November. So in November, this will be 2 years this November. So November 2017. Sorry, I had to do the math there. I was like, wait, was it 16 or 17? And Jessica was like, you have to come to NYKO. And I'm like, what the heck's NYKO? I've only been doing this business for 2 months. Like, no, I can't give up the time. It's the first week in January. We're busy at work. And she's like, just do me a favor, get there. And I was like, okay, listen, she's had utter success. I need to be there. Well, let me tell you guys, that lit me up like no tomorrow. Being able to see people like Lauren and meet other people and hear the stories, and meet other people that had just joined 2 months prior with me. Like the diversity in that room, the energy in that room just came alive. And if you have not decided and made the sacrifice to go to like, I know it's time, I know it's money, I know it's coordination, I know it's like making a lot of things happen, guys, but events are everything. And like, I will never, ever, my daughter's third birthday actually is on when we're in Nashville the day. I'm leaving a little bit later that Sunday so I can be there with her in the morning. But like, I know what this is going to do for my family. And I know what that event's going to do for me to catapult my business then to that next level. Guys, it's everything. And there's nothing, just like we say, there's nothing like belly to belly connection. So people are like, well, I could watch it online, or I'll get I'll watch it on a team call and they'll give me the highlights. There's nothing like being in the same room and hearing that energy and learning from the speakers. But to me, one of the best parts is your team all being together. I will tell you, we had a team party last year that was like all on the roof. Like, there was just such amazing energy. And literally there was like messages going back and forth today reminding people of why they should be on this, like why they should be there. And people were talking about the friendships they made that night and how much that's helped keep them in the business, right? Because those hard days when it's ugly and it's scary and you want to throw the towel in, you stay in because you're surrounded by good people.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. Okay, and last question. If there's one thing that you could say, I know there's a lot. You've won a lot of trips. You've been to Top Achievers. You know, I know that you have been to a lot of the events. You've made some great friends. You're making money. Whatever it is, if there's one thing that you could say, this has forever changed my life because of Isagenix, that you don't believe anything else could have the way Isagenix has, what's that?
That's a great question. Wow. I'm not usually stopped for words. Honestly, I would just say just this passion, like this passion to wanna I have always been a passionate person, but to realize like I have a vehicle that I almost said no to, that I almost thought like I was too good for in network marketing, that I was too scared to say what other people were going to think of me, that I was so fearful, like what if I don't succeed? And if I had said no and not felt the way that I feel right now, to know how bright my future looks. And again, I had a good corporate career, this, that, and the other. I mean, like, it's a different type of passion. And when you're surrounded by so many other people that share that same sort of passion, it just like lights your soul on fire. I don't know, it just lit me up in a different way. I was in a weird part of life, 2 kids, like been married for, I'd been married at that point for 6 years. I was like, okay, this is the way it's going to be for the next 30 years. And it just like relit me back up again. I mean, the products obviously, but just the people and knowing the purpose and the passion that, just lit me up.
That's awesome. Okay, well, you guys, it's almost 10 o'clock on the East Coast where Erika is, so I need to let her go to bed or send 20 more messages before she goes to bed. But thank you so much for being on here. I'll get you this recording. You're amazing. You're a gem. Congratulations on all of your success. I can't wait to squeeze you in Nashville. And thank you so much for just pouring into them. This is going to land on a lot of people, and I just love you and adore you so much.
Thank you so much. And if anyone wants to, I'm on Facebook. Feel free to follow me, or Instagram or whatever. Like, I am more than happy to answer any other questions that you may not have been able to answer tonight if there was anything in the thread. So good night, guys.
Bye, you guys. Thanks so much. Love you.
Bye.